Welcome to Thursday's lesson. This is Mr. Trotta. Let's get started with today's lesson objective.
We interrupt this lesson for today's important lesson objective. We interrupt this lesson for today's important lesson objective.
All right, now that we're back today, we're doing two topics. The first one's going to be real easy, real quick. The next one takes a little bit of thinking, and we're actually going to expand on that more next week. But for the first one we're talking about is going to be even and odd numbers. Even and odd numbers. Let's go through all the numbers, 1 through 10. All the numbers, let's start by writing them all out here. I'm going to have my numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, and numbers that end in 0. Now, when we're doing this, all of our odd numbers are numbers that end in 1. So I'm going to put a little underline over here. 3, 5, 7, and 9. Now, all of our even numbers are going to be 2, 4, 6, 8, and numbers that end in 0. So based on that, I'll keep this chart handy for us for all of our examples here. When we're doing this, we want to look at the last digit in every equation. So here I have, not even equations, just numbers. 495, 71, 93, 688, and 42. I only care about this last number here, this 5. And the 71, I only care about the 1. And the 93, I only care about the 3. And the 688, I only care about the last 8. And for 42, I only care about that last digit, the 2. So these are the numbers that are determined whether the entire number is going to be even or odd. So when we look at this, 495, 5 is one of our odd numbers, so I can check that one off. 71, 1 is one of our odd numbers, so that is also going to be odd. 93, red, it's an odd number, check that one off. 688, 8 ends in 8. It's an even number. And 42, 2 is one of our even numbers. And we're good, just like that. All right, let's take a look at example number 2. Just a reminder here that our odd numbers are over in red, and our green numbers over on the side here are in even numbers are in green. There we go. So if I have, let's start doing all the hiding again. I only care about this last digit, the 7, the 9, the 3, the 1, and the 6. So what I would like you to do is take a quick look at these. 7 is going to be one of our odd numbers. 9 is also odd. 3, also odd. 1, again, one of our odd numbers. 6, our first even number. So I'd like you to try the next section on your own. So why don't you answer these questions now. All right, now when you're going through those, 42, 2 is an even number. 268, also even. 26, 6 is an even number. Seeing a pattern here. 90 ends in a 0, also even. And 743, that is our first odd. So hopefully you had those. All right, the next type of problem we're going to be working with today is down writing the factors of a certain number. The second part of today's lesson, we're talking about factors. We want to write down all the factors of 20. So the easy way to start off with this is we want to look at all the numbers that can make 20. And we're going to start with our 1. And what can I multiply 1 by to get 20? Well, I can multiply it by 20. I then want to start counting up the next number. See if 2 works. 2, what can I multiply 2 by to get 20? Now, if you're not sure, you can use one of these. So what I'm going to do in this calculator here is I'm going to put in 20 and want to see if it's divisible by 2. So I'm just putting in 20 divided by 2. And if I hit enter, I get an answer of 10. So 2 times 10 is also 20. The next thing I want to do is I want to see, does 3 work? So I'm going to put in here a 20 divided by 3. and I'm hit enter, and I get that long decimal. Decimals are bad. So if I have 20 divided by 3 and I get a decimal, that means that 20 is not divisible by 3. So I can try my next number here, 24. So I'm going to put 20 divided by 4 into my calculator, and I hit enter, and I get a nice, easy, even number 5. That's an odd number. I have 5. 4 times 5. Now 4 and 5 are kind of close, so there's no other numbers between 4 and 5 that I'm going to be able to fit in there. So when I go to write out my answer for this, I want to write it by taking each of these numbers and spacing them out. So I want to have my 1, and then I can have 20 on the end, and then I can have a 2. I'm going to separate these with commas. A 2, comma, and then on this side over here, I'm going to have that 10, and then I have my 4, and then my 5, and these are all the factors of 20. 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. So when you're putting these into Schoology, you're just going to put in 1, comma, 2, comma, 4, comma, 5, comma, 10, comma, 20, comma. No spaces. It may look like there's spaces in there, but that's just the way I'm writing. But this is the way your answer should look. Let's go on to a bad joke of the day.
What's the most crunk place to go to the bathroom? The Little John.
Little John. Wow,
Yeah.
that's good.
All right. And next example for you here. Write all the factors of 26. So I'm going to skip the whole column thing that I did for that last example. And for 26, I'm going to say first I have a 1. And on the end of that, I'm going to have my 26. Put a comma right before that. So 1 times 26 will give me 26. I want to start working with the numbers that are in between that. So I'm going to go into my calculator here, cleared it, and I have 26, and I'm going to divide it by the next number I can start with, which is a 2. So I put in 26 divided by 2, and I get an answer of 13. So I can say that 2 is a factor as well as 13. So now the only other numbers I'm going to try are numbers that come between 2 and 13. I don't have to try 14, 15, 16, 17 because that's not going to work out. So let's start with a 26. It goes with some of the other numbers. I'm going to take 26 and divide it by 3, and I got a decimal. Decimals are bad. So 3 is not divisible by 26. So let's try 26 and divide it by 4. Smaller decimal, 6.5, but still, that's not going to work. So let's try 26 divided by 5. I don't think that's going to work because 5 times 5 is 25. So another decimal, so 5 doesn't work. So far I've also tried here 3, 4, and 5. Those did not work. Let's see, if I try 25 divided by 6, I get an answer of, decimal, so 6 doesn't work. And I can keep trying all of these. I can try 7, I can try 8, I can try 9, I can try 10, 11, 12. All of those are going to be decimals. I'm just going to save us some time and say this is our answer right here. So when I go to put this into Schoology, I'm going to make this look a little bit nicer and bring this right next to each other, just like that. 1, 2, 13, 26. So I can try all of those. That's exactly what my answer is going to look like. So now I'd like you to try one on your own. So why don't you try 22 now? All right, so what you should have done is starting off with 1 and a 22 all the way on the end. And then I want to see what numbers come in between there. So as 22 is an even number, so that means 2 will work. Because if it's an even number, that means it's automatically divisible by 2. So let's go into our calculator and put in 22 divided by 2. And I get an answer of 11. So I can put that 11 over here on this side. And now I'm going to start trying my other numbers. I'm going to try 3. I'm going to try 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to see if any of those are divisible by 22, but none of them are. So your answer is going to look just like 1, 2, 11, 22. And when you're putting this into Schoology, as I showed you before, you're just going to keep it nice and tight. No spaces between those. And that's it. That's how we find the factors of numbers. So the secret word for today's video is going to be fun. So make sure you enter that in so I can give you full credit for it. That's all the assignments that we have this week. Tomorrow is just another week review. Make sure you take a picture of it, submit that. Questions, I'll see you in Zoom office hours, or I'll hear from you on Schoology. If not, enjoy your weekend.